We're catching up with some of the biggest named quarterbacks in the SEC down here at the Manning Passing Academy. Locked On SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. On today's show, we will bring you more of our quarterback interviews from the Manning Passing Academy, catching up with several of the guys across the SEC. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Shout out to our everydayers. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. And today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com. All right, we are continuing to bring you some of our interviews from SEC, from the Manning Passing Academy, catching up with quarterbacks from the SEC. And on yesterday's show, we brought you our conversation with Talon Green, quarterback from Arkansas, and Ty Simpson, Alabama quarterback. Today, we bring you the rest of those SEC quarterbacks. And we start things off with a guy who is new to the SEC, coming over from Washington State in the transfer portal, John Mateer, coming to Oklahoma, along with his offense coordinator, Ben Arbuckle. He even makes a joke about guy, can't stop following him around, but pretty good conversation with a guy who is expected to upgrade that Oklahoma offense. Remember Jackson Arnold last year, all the injuries they had, that wide receiver room all banged up, inconsistent run game. Jackson Arnold goes in the transfer portal over to Auburn. In comes John Mateer to Oklahoma with the new OC and Ben Arbuckle, and they are expected to help turn that offense around in Sooner Land. So without further ado, let's bring you our interview with John Mateer. John, I know you've talked about this a little bit, but just how this offseason has gone for you so far, making that transition, getting down to Norman. What's it all been like for you so far?
It's been awesome. The people are great. The fans are great. They've embraced me, and the teammates and the coaches have really embraced me. And I've built really good relationships. I really like all the guys, and strength testing's good. I've gained some weight. Probably lost it today. It's hot, but I gained some weight, got a little bigger, getting a little faster. And year 3 in the offense, you take some more strides, so it's really promising.
That's what I was going to ask. The big storyline offseason has been you're kind of tied at the hip with Coach Arbuckle. What is bringing him along going to do to help you and this offense turn around this year?
I wouldn't say we're tied at the hip. He's kind of annoying, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the duo or trio, if you add Coach Kuz in there, it's huge. And we understand each other, and I know what play he's going to call next, and he knows what I like, and then we talked through a lot of stuff this offseason, and it's just taking the next step, and it's awesome. And then we got some good players here that can do a lot of different things, and it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
How excited are you to get a guy like Jaden Ott into the system and help that run game?
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He can do a lot of things. We got a lot of other guys that can do a lot, and we got him in the portal, and it's huge. I don't want to, not talk about the other guys that we already had because they're freaking good too, and we got a lot of dudes.
One thought has been, okay, how is this going to adapt to the SEC? Obviously people say it's the best, football conference in the country. How do you think this is going to transition here to this conference?
I think the discipline that we have and the adaptability that we have to be able to learn and it'll be a learning curve. It will. I'll embrace that, and it's going to be fun and a challenge, and that's what football's supposed to be, a challenge. And there will be learning curves, but for all of us. But there's a lot of people with a lot of experience in the building, so we can avoid the really hard learning curves, and we'll get it in quick. And I'm just, as long as I'm disciplined to my reads and to the play call and to the watching film, I'll be good.
Coach Venable's hallmark has been defense. What have you seen from this defense so far?
I've seen a lot. I'm obviously not going to say what I've seen, but I think I've seen probably 100 different coverages and 100 different snaps. It's hard. It's a lot of fun. But there's good players and good scheme, so it's making me better.
What's the key to getting through a tough schedule like this? Is it really, it's cliche, but is it really 1 week at a time?
Yeah, I think one day at a time, because if you start at Sunday, you got to recover, and then you got to get into the film. And my schedule is actually easier this year than last year. Not like play schedule, but weekly, like class schedule. So I'll have more time to do recovery and watch more film. And so it's a day at a time, and then if you get caught up and, we beat one team, we got to play another team next week. It's not like we just have, a week off or something. So that's what it is. I think a week after week, the same mindset. I think that's the most important because we're human and we're not perfect, and you can get into a lull where you just start getting lazy and you start letting your mind think different things. You don't need to work as hard, this and that. And I had to learn that last year. Like, I was playing well, but it wasn't how it should have been. You know, I should have watched more film, and obviously learning a lot during that first season is huge. But taking all the things I learned from last season and then game to game, there's going to be learns every game, which sucks. You know, it's football. It's not perfect, which is annoying, but that's what makes it so great, you know.
Last thing, when John Mateer's not playing football, what are you doing?
Recently been playing pickleball. I love pickleball. I kick your ass at pickleball. I like to cook. I've been getting into cooking. And then
What do you cook?
I've been eating a lot of chicken recently, and then so doing a lot of things with that. And I mean, it's pretty base, but if you can make the base things real good, then you might as well keep doing it, you know. So, and I've taken pride in it, doing different flavors and stuff. But it's nothing like pasta, antipasta, you know. It's not like nothing crazy, but my body feels real good because of it and being able to cook. I got a grill, and it's a good life.
Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again to John Mateer. Also, one of the other big quarterbacks in the SEC getting a lot of hype this offseason. We only got a couple minutes with him, but grateful for his time, and that's South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers. Of course, Sellers had a fantastic season last year for the Gamecocks, finishing on the that regular season on that win streak, and some monster wins over Clemson and A&M, and the hype builds now. Expectations raise in Columbia, and so we caught up with South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers. Catching up with LaNorris Sellers. What's this offseason been like for you, man? Been pretty busy, huh?
Yeah, really busy. This is another thing I had to do. I was looking forward to it, excited to be here. I'm glad I got an opportunity to come.
What's this like? You're coached your whole career. Now you get an opportunity to coach kids here. What's a little bit of shoe on the other foot here, right?
Yeah, it's different, but I was always told if you can teach it, you know it the best you can. So.
Biggest takeaways from last year, kind of rolled into this year. Obviously, you guys finished on such a heater. Seemed like you got better and better as the year went along. What are the lessons you take from last year?
Yeah, just be more patient, be more decisive, just being smoother, not being like erratic, just trusting myself, trusting my abilities, trusting the guys around me.
Talk a little bit about the new pieces. Y'all brought in some new pieces on the offense and defense. Anybody stand out to you that you're excited about getting to work with?
Yeah, we brought in a couple freshman receivers, and we brought in our running back, Razul, and some new offensive linemen. We all bonded quickly. We all knew we was willing, like working to get to, and then everybody on the same accord now. So,
I saw Dylan Stewart a couple weeks ago. It looks like he's even in better shape than he was a year ago. What did you see out of Dylan this offseason?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, exactly what you said. He just got bigger, faster, and stronger. He has a year under his belt now, so he'll be better.
What's been the message from Coach Beamer as y'all get ready for this season, as expectations are raised, right? I mean, y'all have great success last year. It means expectations go higher.
Yeah, he just wants us to keep going, go farther. Is what has been our motto this offseason. Just when we got 9 games last year, just pushing to the 10th, 11th, and 12th win, making the playoffs. So.
A new OC and Coach Shula, what's kind of been the new wrinkles that he's brought to this offense?
Yeah, just his NFL stuff that he had when he was coaching the NFL. Nothing really that big of a difference, but, I mean, obviously his new stuff and then just changing a couple of things from last year, just making it better.
What were some of the things that you wanted to work on individually this year? Is passing game, running ability, anything specifically you tried to work on?
Yeah, footwork, anticipation, just trusting my guys, being more patient. Yeah.
Any tips from the Mannings on that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They know a lot. As soon as I got here, they're just telling me stuff that I could work on, like even while I'm here, just taking it all in.
Talk a little bit about that home field advantage. You guys, man, when that stadium's rocking, it's a true home field advantage.
Yes, sir. It's crazy. It's fun to play in, so I really enjoy it.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks again to LaNorris. Next up, Garrett Nussmeier. He was, the man of the hour. He and Arch Manning were the two most in-demand guys in the short media availability window at the Manning Passing Academy, with Garrett Nussmeier being the LSU quarterback, Manning Passing Academy in Louisiana, just a ton of media trying to bombard him. And so we were able to get 1 or 2 questions into Garrett, and we'll just join it here. First, he started talking about his trip the other night to Walmart, where his roommate at the Manning Passing Academy, Arch Manning, they took a trip together to Walmart. So here was a little bit of LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier.
What are you looking to improve upon going into maybe your final year?
Yeah, well, it's huge to be able to have a full season, to be able to go back on and make improvements and make corrections and be able to be honest with myself in areas that I need to improve. And so, I think I've definitely attacked those, and I think it's been huge for me going into this last year.
So how's rooming with Arch, and how did Walmart go?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. Everybody keeps asking me about Walmart. It's just a typical Louisiana Walmart. You know how it goes. No, there wasn't a lot of things on the shelves, but we got what we needed and we got out. Just picking up some bedding and things like that. So, dude, this dude pulled his card out, and I'm like, "Give me your Venmo, bro." So we got it settled now. But I'm like, "All right, Arch, that's what we're doing."
Were you guys recognized?
He was, yeah.
He standing next to him and not recognized?
No, it was hilarious. I said, this is the first time in Louisiana this kind of happened, and we were just laughing. He just came up, "Hey, Arch, can I get a picture?" And I'm just sitting in the background like, "Hey guys," you know what I mean?
Take the picture.
No, I didn't take the picture. I would have loved to take the picture. I think that would have been hilarious.
And I apologize. How many times were you asked about Walmart today?
That's probably about the fourth time I've been asked about Walmart. So, yes, sir.
Was it a kid?
It was like some teenagers, older kids probably. So yeah, it was funny.
That's probably the quirkiest thing that's happened though. So that's why you're getting asked about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Blame Arch. He's the one who.
I know. I guess so. There you go.
Garrett, what's been the most fun part of this offseason for you?
Yeah. I think just getting to know all of our new teammates and this new era of college football with all the transfers and things like that, just meeting them and creating a chemistry within our locker room and things like that. It's been a lot of fun.
Is there a guy or two that stood out to you so far?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's been an individual guy. I think everybody that we've brought in can play, and I think they'll all have a very big impact for us.
The big question is offensive line. What have you seen out of them so far, and how big is that going to be for your success this year?
Yeah, no, it's been huge. As I said earlier, Will and Emery and Miles and Garrett, they left an expectation and a standard. And I think the guys who have stepped up and now have their opportunities have really rose to that occasion.
All right, thanks again to Garrett Nussmeier. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Coming up next, we'll bring you more from the Manning Passing Academy, including Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons and Mississippi State quarterback Blake Shapen. That's coming your way here in just a second. Hey, first, I want to remind you guys, summer sports are in full swing, and whether you are all about the baseball, golf, high-stakes soccer action, whatever it is, FanDuel, they have the best way to make every game even more exciting. And if you're already going to be watching the game, if you're already going to be following the action, why not make it a little bit more thrilling? And you could do so with FanDuel. They can get you in on the game while your friends are out doing whatever they're doing, getting sunburned on the beach. We've been using FanDuel last couple of years and love using it throughout college football season, but even outside of college football season, throughout the summer months with baseball and everything else going on. And it's easy to use, fast to pay out, and it's going to make those regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether you're placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning, FanDuel, it's going to make you feel like you are part of the action. If you're new to FanDuel, if you've never used them before, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just open the FanDuel app today and visit FanDuel.com to get started and get signed up. It is FanDuel.com. Go check them out today. All right, roll along here, Locked On SEC. Shout out to our everydayers. Keep coming back and checking us out each and every day. Later this week, conversation we will revisit we had with Tom Hart a while back at SEC Media Days, and want to revisit it because we played a fun game with Tom naming SEC alumni, so you do not want to miss that. That's coming later this week on Locked On SEC. But for now, we go back out to the Manning Passing Academy where we're catching up with some of the SEC quarterbacks there. And next up, Mississippi State quarterback Blake Shapen. Of course, he started his career at Baylor, spent the first couple of years there, transferred over to Mississippi State last year, only played a couple of games for Jeff Lebby before he got hurt and was done for the season. That opened the way for Michael Van Buren to come in. Of course, Van Buren this offseason transferred to LSU. He's now backing up Nussmeier at LSU. But talk to Blake Shapen about his decision to stay at Mississippi State, come back another year in Starkville, and stick this thing out. Here was Mississippi State quarterback Blake Shapen. Catching up with Blake Shapen, Mississippi State quarterback. And Blake, was just talking to you, man. It's got to be a whirlwind for you here. You were a year ago at this point, and last season didn't go how you wanted. But to be back here, fully healthy, ready to go, what's the feeling right now?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome just to be able to be at a camp like this, be around these guys. being able to grow in any way that I can. It's a blessing just to be a part of this camp. Obviously, getting injured last year was tough, but excited to move forward.
How tough was last year? Obviously, the injury and getting sidelined. I know the season didn't go how you guys wanted it, but being back in Coach Levy's system and having a kind of a year under your belt, I'm sure has to help, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in the moment it hurt to get injured, but now that I look back on it, it was pretty kind of like a good thing, just being able to sit back, learn the offense, and, work on myself mentally, different things like that. I think it helped me grow as a person, helped me grow as a player, so I think it was a blessing in disguise.
You're almost like an extra coach out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 24 years old. I'm getting up there. But yeah, I try to be a coach as much as I can to these other guys.
Obviously, with how last season went, I guess people, in terms of the SEC, I mean, expectations, people, I guess, are putting you guys down at the bottom. Is that, I mean, you can almost use that as kind of firepower to say, good, let them sleep on us, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they slept on us last year too, and at this point, it's like, let them do that. Like, that's out of my control. I can't, do anything about what rankings they put out or anything they say, but at the end of the day, we got to go win football games to change the narrative, and that's where we're at. We got to go do that, so.
Talk a little bit about some of the pieces that have come in this offseason, some of the pieces that you guys bring back. Who on this team, maybe on offense, kind of excites you going into this year?
Yeah, I think, honestly, we got Booth coming back at running back. We got Jordan Mosley coming back at receiver. We brought in Anthony Evans from Georgia, Aiden Williams from, Ole Miss, a bunch of different names, and then also returning a couple guys. We're very talented again. I think Coach Levy does a good job of filling the roles that we need to fill, and obviously we did that in the portal again. And then we also did that on the offensive line too. And then the running back room, like I said, we got Booth, but then we also got 3 or 4 guys after that are pretty stout.
It felt like at times, too, you guys played competitive games. I mean, you were in a lot of those games. They just didn't go your way. I got to think that that's kind of something to build off of from last year, too.
Yeah, for sure. I think in those games, too, that we were in, we ended up being out of them because of one bad play. And I think we let one bad play affect the rest of the game. And so I think for us is being a little bit more mature when it comes to those things. When bad things happen, they happen. Being able to move forward and go try to win a football game is going to be huge for us.
This day and age of the transfer portal, I mean, does it kind of help? I mean, it feels like, at least from what we've seen looking at some teams, that you can go last to first, or you can be a super competitive team just by adding some really good pieces in the portal, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think for us, like you said, we lost a couple guys, but we were able to replace them with some other guys. And at the end of the day, like, it's up to us to be able to go change the narrative. And we brought in great guys, and that's great. But the culture's got to change. We got to change that, and it's up to us to do that. So, we gotta take the initiative to go and do those things.
Obviously, you came over from Baylor. You had a great career there, put up a lot of big yards there. You came to Mississippi State. I think it says something. You sticking there and decide not to hit the portal again and stick it out. What made you want to stick around Starkville one more year?
Yeah, I think it starts with Coach Levy. I think he's been very loyal to me. Ever since we met, we were very close. And I think he's very loyal in who he is. He's a great coach. He knows the X's and O's of the game. And I know where the program's headed with him. So I want to be the start of that, and I want to end my career in Starkville, and so I didn't want to go anywhere else. There was no thought of it.
All right, when you're not playing football, what's Blake Shapen doing?
Playing golf. I'd say that's my main go-to, that or playing Fortnite. So.
No hunting, none of that this offseason?
Hunt, I don't fish or any of it. I have a hard time. I'm impatient when it comes to those things. So.
Message to all those in Starkville: if you want to take Blake Shapen hunting, you better do it now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I'll make the trip, though.
Blake, thanks for the time, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our thanks again to Blake Shapen, one of the other newcomers to the SEC. And I say newcomer in that he's going to be a new starter in the SEC, but of course played backup time last year. And that's Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons, of course, played a big role late in that game against Georgia, one of Ole Miss's biggest wins last season. But he now takes the reins. Austin Simmons is now the guy in Oxford under Lane Kiffin. And so expectations raised with Austin Simmons taking over, and only got a couple minutes with him, but here was our brief conversation with Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons. Catching up a few minutes with Austin Simmons. What's this offseason been like for you, man?
Just like high maintenance, like really getting my body right, getting ready for the season, and like really just getting back in shape, for all like the high tempo offense we have right now. So just getting ready for the season.
how much did last year help, kind of being the backup, getting your feet wet, getting a little action, and kind of getting ready for your time to shine now?
Definitely, help me prepare like what I'm going to see like visually in the SEC, especially like, with all the adversity I'm going to face throughout the season. It's going to be like a whole bunch of ups and downs. So just really seeing like how Dart like handled all that and like really just approach every single game. It's been a big help.
What do you like about this Lane Kiffin offense and just kind of this? Did you know from your high school days this is an offense that's going to suit me?
Yeah, watching it when I came on my visit back like 2 summers ago, just seeing like how well like I could really approach it and like really just like take advantage of everything. Like we take advantage of a whole lot of free access throws and stuff like that. So just seeing like the amount of explosive plays they produce in each and every game is just really fun to watch.
Had a lot of new faces come in at wide receiver. Give us a couple names you think might stand out.
All of them. There's not one I don't think that won't produce any type of explosive plays at all. Like I believe in every single one of them, and I think that we're all going to dominate this season.
What's the biggest thing you're looking forward to this year?
Just going out there, just proving everyone, like showing everyone who I actually am, rather than just like focus on the Georgia game. Just really just going out there and just approaching every single game with a dominant mindset.
As the city of Oxford seems like they've pretty much embraced you. Everybody I've talked to there is like they're so excited. Oh, we can't wait to see what Austin's going to do.
Sir, one thing I can tell Ole Miss fans right now is that you're going to see a lot more than just the Georgia game.
All right, last thing. When Austin Simmons isn't playing football, what is he doing?
Either laying down, binge watching, watching film, watching TV shows, and just playing the game.
What's the last thing you watched on Netflix?
So I recently started watching Mobland because of Coach Judge, and he's been actually like putting me on with some certain shows and just trying to like get more in tune a bit.
It's good to decompress, right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the time, dude.
Yes, sir. Howdy, Toddy.
All right, thanks again to Austin Simmons. And thanks to all those guys over at the Manning Passing Academy. I mean, they had so many different quarterbacks. I think it was like 48 or 49 total college quarterbacks. And so the Mannings do a fantastic job with them, getting all these big names to come and serve as camp counselors. Over 1,000 kids there that they're coaching up all weekend. So it's always awesome to be a part of, and so cool to have the first football family, they call them, the Mannings, with Archie and Peyton and Eli and Cooper, and of course now Arch being a part of the conversation as his football career continues to develop and take off. So just wanted to send a shout out to them. Fantastic event. Love going out there every year to Thibodeau, and looking forward to it again next year. All right, still more to come here on Locked On SEC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. We got some recruiting tidbits, man. Georgia, hot on the recruiting trail. Alabama, some big moves being made the last day or so. So let's catch you up on some of that coming up next. All right, roll along here. Locked On SEC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. And we had some big recruiting happenings the last day or so, last 24, 48 hours. So let's dive into it on what's happening around the SEC in recruiting news. And we start at Georgia, as Georgia picking up last night a 4-star defensive lineman, Preston Carey, committing to Georgia, 6'5", 300-pound D lineman, choosing the Bulldogs over Florida, Auburn, and Rutgers. He said, quote, "To be the best in the country, you have to play with the best in the country." So big 4-star D lineman Preston Carey committing to Georgia. Now this came on the heels of D lineman PJ Dean taking his talents to Athens. It was a battle between Georgia and South Carolina, and Dean announced his verbal commitment on Monday to Kirby Smart and Georgia. He's out of the North Carolina area, 6'5", 255 pounds, rated a 4-star on the composites, number 6 player in the state of North Carolina, number 7 defensive lineman, and the number 66 overall prospect in the class of 2026. He switched sides of the ball this past year and expected to be one of those next great Georgia D linemen, PJ Dean, heading to Georgia. And that puts Georgia, I think, about 26 verbal pledges already for the class of 2026. They are loading up. Kirby Smart is doing work. And watch out, USC. Georgia coming for the top recruiting class in 2026. Now, they did also add a commitment for the class of 2027 yesterday as well. Dante Wright Jr. out of California, 6'2", 170 pounds, rated a 4-star, the number 10 cornerback in the class of 2027. So this isn't for this coming recruiting class. This is for next year, but Georgia already adding guys into that group. How about over at Alabama? Kalen DeBoer doing some work. They added a wide receiver, Owen Cabell from Nashville. He is heading to Alabama. He's out of the Nashville area. 6'3", 201 pounds, 3-star, rated the number 37 player from the state of Tennessee, the number 166 wide receiver. And he had scholarship offers from over 20 different schools. Took a visit to Alabama, decided now is the time to head to Tuscaloosa. So 15 players on board for Alabama. And, man, it's been a busy couple of days for them. The last handful of days, they are really, really adding to their class. So Kalen DeBoer doing a lot of work there in Tuscaloosa. And Owen Cabell, however you pronounce it, he is headed there. How about over at Ole Miss? They made a big pickup for their class of 2026, picking up a 4-star edge out of the state of Texas in Landon Barnes. He's out of Duncanville High School, 6'4", 245 pounds. Number 18 edge rusher, number 22 player from the state of Texas, and number 139 prospect overall. That puts Ole Miss now at 10 verbal commitments for the class of 2026. Still building this thing up. The class ranks 55th nationally. But nonetheless, they are making some moves there in Oxford. How about over Kentucky? They picked up a commitment from an edge out of the state of Alabama. Garrett Witherington says, I'm just happy to finally be 100% committed. Committed earlier this week on Monday. Talking to the coaches, reassured that it is home for me. He is 6'5", 290 pounds. Number 37 player from the state of Alabama. Number 115 defensive lineman. And he named Kentucky in his top 7 teams back in May. And that puts Kentucky now at 13 verbal commitments for 2026. How about Eli Drinkwitz over at Mizzou? They landed a blue chip lineman from the state of Georgia out of Kennesaw North Cobb High School, Brandon Anderson, heading to Missouri. He is a 4-star prospect, 6'4", 315 pounds, rated the number 29 interior lineman, number 45 player from the state of Georgia. And he verbally pledged to Tennessee back in October, decommitted from them in January. And it was down to Mizzou, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And he's had to play for Eli Drinkwitz and the Missouri Tigers. So best of luck to him. And there you have it. That's the latest going on the recruiting trail. Now, we did have some news yesterday for those of you who are video game enthusiasts who play the NCAA college football game. Some good news on the hardwood. As it was announced yesterday, EA Sports is going to bring back the college basketball video game. Of course, they reintroduced the college football video game last year. It was a smashing success. College Football 26 is set to come out in just a couple weeks. And so EA Sports confirming on Monday that a new college basketball video game is in the works. They put out a teaser post on social media. Fans are going to have to wait a little bit longer for that one, though. It is still in the very early stages. And according to Matt Brown, who reports on video games, it'll be a 2028 release date. So going to have to wait a good bit of time on that EA Sports college basketball. But the good news is it is set to come back. And there you have it. That is the latest news going on around the conference. And got you guys all caught up. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen of the day. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has all the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes of the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been Locked On SEC. Everybody have a great day. We will talk to you guys tomorrow.